Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm Skratch. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day, an amazing weekend. Today, guys, I want to talk about the top 1 best Hydra champions in Raid Shadow Legends. I've done similar videos in the past, but this time around, I want to take a completely different approach towards it. Mainly, I want to exclude all of the damage dealers from the list, because if I'm going to include all of those champions, I'm going to end up with a top 100 instead of top 20. One thing that I do want to mention, Hydra evolved quite a bit, but mainly we have a lot of champions that are able to basically achieve astonishing results in the Hydra clan boss. Let me just give you a simple example. 4 or 5 years ago, when I started playing the game, the clan boss only had a very small handful of champions that were able to achieve great results. Only a few teams that were able to take you to the 1 key. Firstly, we started with Unkillables on Ultra Nightmare, but slowly Plarium added so many different champions that right now we probably have like 1,000 different teams that can get very good results in the clan boss. Maybe not 1,000, but you guys get the idea. When Hydra was released, was pretty much the same situation. We barely had champions that were able to do crazy things in the Hydra. But let me tell you one thing, Hydra becomes more and more like the clan boss because we have so many different options right now in the game that can elevate your Hydra damage to the next level and just generally elevate your team. So what I want to do in today's video, guys, is basically pinpoint the top 20 best support debuffers champions in Raid Shadow Legends for Hydra clan boss. I don't want to talk about the damage dealers. There's so many of them, and if I'm gonna show you the list, I'm gonna end up with 40-50 champions, which will be pretty hard to kind of like rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't tend to do that because everything is very situational, based on your own account, of course, and many different factors. What exactly you need in the team. You need defense down, you need provoke, you need support, etc. So it's no point for me to start and rank the champions 1 to 20 because it will be very subjective from account to account, and we're gonna end up in disagreeing non-stop in the comments. So if we start with the very first champion, as mentioned, I don't rank them from 1 to 20 or anything like that. I will want to basically mention this champion that will be absolutely amazing for the Hydra clan boss once we are going to get her, and that is Aorus Lamu. This is the champion that we can get from the Siege game mode, and not only that she will be great for Hydra, but she will be a force to reckon in PvP as well. So we have a speed aura for all battles, 24%. That's already very, very good. AoE attack on the basic skill. We decrease attack damage based on defense. The A2, 100% chance to land block buffs and decrease speed. Again, very, very solid. Being Void Affinity makes this much, much better. Then you have the A3, removes all debuffs from a single ally and places intercept stacks on them, plus fills the thermometer and resets the cooldown of all of their skills. The passive is nice too. It's nothing that will completely break the Hydra or anything like that. Polymorph is not going to affect it, but each debuff placed by this champion decreases the target's thermometer by 5% and permanently decreases their resistance and accuracy by 10, stacking up to 100. So this will be very, very strong in general. So she's definitely gonna be in top 20 once we're gonna have her. Right now, it's no point to place her in top 20 because nobody has her, right? So it's gonna be pretty pointless. I do want to start with the mythical champions first, guys. There are a couple of them that are really, really strong as support champions. And I'm going to start with Androck right here. Super solid champion for the Hydra clan boss. Once I'm done talking about all of them, I'm going to walk you through some of the teams that people are using in this Hydra clash from all of the clans to kind of like give you guys a grasp of how these champions interact with others. So this one is a defense-based champion. It can change to support. Not only that... it will deal decent-ish damage if you decide to give him a damage build. Don't expect hundreds and hundreds of millions, but he can put a bit of damage. Basically, what he does, increase defense on all allies with a basic skill. Then the A2 increases the duration of all ally buffs and heals all of your team. Then, increase resistance, strengthen, continuous heal. The passive is not bad either because he will increase the champion's resistance by 10 for each buff on each ally, and critical hits inflicted by allies fills the thermometer of all allies by 5%. This is what makes it very, very nice. Now, it does occur once per skill, so if you have a champion that has like 4 or 5 hits on a skill, it's not gonna work for each one of the hits just per skill, but it's very nice to basically constantly get Termiter. You have defense aura in all battles. The second form has a chance to put defense down, has a chance to put decreased resistance and weaken, and feeble won't work, and removes all buffs from all enemies, and places block buffs in case if you need it. So the champion does a lot of things. Very nice passive in here as well. I feel like I don't personally have him, but depending on what champions you have in the team, you might want to alternate in between the two forms, or you might want to stick with one form only to kind of like get maximum value out of that. It does take quite a bit of time to metamorph, right? It's a 4-turn cooldown, so keep that in mind. But we're gonna get to some teams that use Androck, and very, very solid results from some of my clanmates. Then I want to talk about Lazarius. I am using this bad boy personally, and my god, I am freaking loving him. Not only that he has the revive, which makes my team full auto and I don't have to worry about it, but with the A2, he will put block buffs. He will decrease the duration of all enemy buffs by 2 turns. He will give you block debuffs on your team. Decent damage as well. I think I got him to like 100+ million damage in my team, if I'm not mistaken, but that is with my arena build. You are getting increased attack, you're getting strengthened, you're getting Termiter, he will have Veil on himself, and you're gonna have a speed aura in all battles by 25%. He will gain a shield with A1. Now, one thing that I do want to mention, guys, if you're swapping to the second form as a damage form, you're not getting a lot of value out of him. I just feel like the damage in Hydra is just not great from this champion. I haven't seen him hitting for millions and millions with any of the skills, and I do have a pretty good build on him, so I'm pretty unimpressed with the damage, but other than that, very, very awesome. The next mythical champion that's really, really solid in the Hydra clan boss, guys, of course, is gonna be Lady Mikage. Toshiro is the ultimate GOAT when we're talking about damage dealers, but right now we are not talking about damage dealers whatsoever. So Lady Mikage, so much freaking value. The main thing that you want to do is pair her with another Shadowkin, preferably, of course, a damage dealer. You can bring in multiple Shadowkins, but I feel like it will reduce a bit the damage for the other one, because you don't know which one of them will join the attack with her. While it's not necessarily a problem, you can always use Lady Mikage with Harima and Oboro, or Oboro and Ninja as an example, you know. But each one of them will randomly join in the attack, so you can't really maximize the damage for one of them like that. You are getting increased attack, you're getting increased crit damage, you are getting ally attack, increases the duration of all buffs, decreases the duration of all enemy buffs. Absolutely amazing. And of course, decreases the duration of debuffs on your team too. The passive is not bad either. At the start of this champion's turn, removes all debuffs from the ally with the highest attack. Very, very helpful. The second form is good for the weaken and increase accuracy, but I would suggest you not to use that. You want to prioritize only the first form on Lady Mikage to really maximize the damage. We do have an accuracy aura in all battles. Best build on Reflex and a 4-piece Merciless if you can do that. If no, Reflex, 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 because she will get to use the A2 and the A3 more often. A lot of champions are doing really, really well if you can give them a 9-piece protection set to basically boost the stats on the rest of your team. But I'll be very honest, champions like Androck can work as well on a protection set, 9-piece protection set. Lazarius can work on 9-piece protection set as well. Similar with Mikage too. The main thing that I kind of like try to aim for champions that basically get the 9-piece protection, at least on my account, is for them to bring more than 2 buffs. Now, this is not bad either. 2 buffs, 10% more damage if you can build them with 9-piece protection, you know. But that is very, very endgame, and even myself, I'm missing a lot of accessories for a lot of different factions. Then, moving over to the next champion, which is one of my most favorite Hydra champions in the entire game, and probably you guys guessed it right. I'm talking about Feral, the Barkhorn. My god, this champion just does so many freaking things, and I cannot wait to get my banner for him so I can run him on 9-piece protection. Currently, he's only on 8-piece protection. Now, if you cannot build him on protection, again, building him on a Reflex, building him on a Relentless, depending on where you are in the game, what exactly you're trying to achieve to push your Hydra to 3-4 billion damage, 2 billion damage, 1 billion damage. It all depends to that. You know, Relentless is not as good anymore because getting a lot of extra turns with champions that don't deal a lot of damage will basically cut you short at the end of the run, because, hey, your run will end faster because of all of the extra turns that haven't really provided you as much value as you might think it does, you know? So with the A1, he has decreased speed. With the A2, AoE attack, decreased accuracy, block buffs. Plus, he ignores tons of resistance from the bosses, 20% to be more specific with all of the skills. The A3 raises an increased resistance, raises a perfect veil buff on all allies. So this champion ticks multiple boxes. Basically, he's gonna put block buffs. He's gonna help you deal with the Head of Torment. He's gonna give you buffs. He will make your team to require less accuracy and less resistance as well because of the passive and the rest of the skills too. If an ally is under 2 or more buffs, increases the resistance by 50. 3 or more buffs increases the accuracy by 50. 4 or more buffs deals the allies deal 20% more damage. And he has a resistance aura for all battles. So Feral, absolutely amazing, guys. Super powerful champion. Moving over to the next one. Yincensa Grail Bearer. Very awesome champion as well for the Hydra clan boss. I don't have her yet. Hopefully one day I will get her. With A1, AoE attack, decrease attack. The ally with the highest crit damage will also join the attack. Very nice. Now, one thing to keep in mind, you can make a crazy team if you have all of these champions. Have Yincensa to put defense down. Have Tohaj to just do more damage and help in with a basic skill. And have, of course, Mikage. Have an Oboro. So Oboro will get 3 ally attacks from Tohaj, from Yincensa, from Mikage. She's gonna do so much damage that's just literally going to blow your mind, okay? As simple as that. Very strong together. You're gonna see a few teams that are using her from my clanmates. This one puts a Poison Cloud, increased speed, and a continuous heal buff on a target ally for 2 turns. Also fills the target's turn meter by 50%. This is not a bad skill either. It's not necessarily the most powerful thing that she brings to the table. You do have defense down and weaken, which will ignore block debuffs. And the passive increases the champion's accuracy, and whenever an enemy receives a buff, their turn meter is decreased, which is not really going to do much in the Hydra. Accuracy aura for all battles. Now, you want to build her again. 9-piece protection set because of this skill right here. 3 buffs, 15% more damage on your damage dealer is going to be massive. Or you can build her, of course, Reflex, Relentless, all sorts of different sets that will basically enhance her abilities to use the skills more often. So super solid champion as well. Moving over to the next one. Let me bring in a free one on the list. And I am talking about Lydia the Death Siren. Very awesome champion for Hydra. I wish I would have 2. Okay, that's one thing that I would love to have, another Lydia, but unfortunately Plarium doesn't want to give us another one. Basically, with the A1, you're not really going to do much on the Hydra. Defense down, weaken, increase speed, and strengthen. Now, this is a champion that plays really well either on a curse set, either on 9-piece protection, either on a reflex and a 4-piece merciless together or separately, just to decrease the cooldown of this skill, to use it as often as possible to basically enable your team to deal more damage while you're constantly putting that defense down and weaken on the enemy. And the cherry on the top of the cake, if by any chance the Head of Wrath comes out, the Head of Suffering comes out, and they're ready to annoy you, or the Head of Mischief, you can quickly put in a block buffs on a single target with this skill, and a poison sensitivity debuff, which won't really do much in Hydra, but it will be there to basically assist you if needed. Passive, not really gonna help you in the Hydra clan boss, and you have a resistance aura for arena battles, which again is not gonna be good for the Hydra clan boss. But Lydia, so freaking powerful, guys. Moving over to the next one, let me just bring in the sexy man that was on the 10x this weekend, guys. And yes, I am talking about Cardel, the one of the only champions in Raid Shadow Legends that has a 6-pack. You know, like, I've got a 6-pack too, but mine is made of Carlsberg, Corona, Heineken, and stuff like that. But this guy has like a proper 6-pack, you know. So let me just quickly walk you through what Cardel can do and how to build him and how exactly I'm using mine. I've actually made a video on my new Brutal team yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, and I used him on a 9-piece protection. Before I had him on a Savage set. You can run him on Reflex, you can run him on Relentless. or any other set that will decrease the cooldown of his skills. Now, you do want to give him a damage build, unlike some of the other supports that I just mentioned, that you can build them in pretty much the same type of sets. Cardel deals a lot of damage, guys. You might be surprised, but he actually smacks pretty hard with his basic skill. He heals your team. You have cleanse, block debuffs, revive on that, ally attack with increased crit rate, increased crit damage, speed aura for all battles, super strong. Now you do have Lady Mikage, you have Padre, which some of them kind of like took a piece of his slice when we're talking about Hydra clan boss, just because they have a bit of a different utility and you can build different teams around them, but he's still very powerful. And let me know in the comments down below how many of you guys actually pulled the Cardel this weekend. Moving over to the next one, I am talking about Padre because I just mentioned him, and he is a pretty awesome ally attack champion. One thing that I really wish is that his speed aura would be for all battles instead of dungeons. Give me 19% instead of this 25 for dungeons, and I'll be happy. Now, his stats are not that crazy, but trust me, he will get the job done. With the A1, he has a chance to decrease the cooldown of a random ally skill by 2 turns, which can come in handy very nice. Teams up with all of the allies to attack a single enemy. Also fully restores all the destroyed max HP and places a continuous heal buff on all allies. Then you have Turn Meter, removes all debuffs from all allies, and increase speed on all of your team on a 3-turn cooldown. The passive, basically, this is what makes him so versatile, is because you can use him with any other champions in your team, regardless if they're defense-based, attack-based, because he's going to provide all of the buffs that they need. Increase attack, increase defense, increase accuracy, shield, depending on what type of champion you are bringing in the team. And this is at the start of this champion's turn every time. So it's a very helpful thing. Again, 9-piece protection set, guys. You want to have either Reflex, either Relentless. I actually have both of mine in Relentless, if I'm not mistaken. I used for a while 2 of them in Hydra, one for Brutal, one for Nightmare, but then I brought in Cardel for Brutal the other day because he was just better in the team that I was running, and Lady Mikage as well in one of the other teams, on and off. You know, it really depends how many Shadow Kings I'm using. That's kind of like what I'm aiming with Lady Mikage. Padre, super nice as well. Moving over to the next champion, guys. I know a lot of you guys love him, a lot of you guys hate him, and a lot of you guys are Skratch. Can we freaking see a video for the Hydra clan boss without Krisk? Because I got tired of seeing this amazing champion, because I don't have him. So yes, Krisk of course makes top 20. Very strong champion, and he's been very strong since day one in pretty much all of the content, guys. AoE decreased speed, you have ally protection, continuous heal, increases the duration of all buffs, you have provoke, you have increased defense on himself, increased speed on all of the allies, the passive that can put defense down and decrease attack, makes this champion really strong. Now, I personally have mine built on a curse set, okay? I would love to be able to put him on a curse set next to a 4-piece Merciless, but I'm just not getting the right pieces from a Merciless set to build him as I would like to. But definitely, a curse set makes him justice because you have the AoE attack, and it's very helpful. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot do Krisk on a 9-piece protection, but keep in mind, dropping a curse set, if you have no hacks in the team, just to bring in 9-piece protection, overall will make you lose damage. So you don't want to do it. You definitely want to keep at least one curse set on your team, basically, you know. Then we have Nekmotar. I recently pulled not one, but 2 Nekmotars back to back, because that's what the game decided to give me. He's definitely a Hydra goat. Now, I would classify Nekmotar as an amazing progression Hydra champion. When we are talking about teams that are really looking to elevate damage and kind of like take it to the next level where you do crazy damage, I feel like Nekmotar drops in value quite a bit. But that doesn't mean that he's not a very strong champion for the Hydra clan boss. He's just not the right type of a champion you would put in a team that goes for 1, 2, 3 billion damage on Nightmare or Brutal, where you're trying to really maximize and squeeze every little damage. Now, of course, I'm not saying that you cannot make teams with him that will allow you to achieve 1+ billion damage. What I'm saying is there are tons of different better options out there. Now, if you don't have them, Nekmotar is 100% going to get the job done. AoE attack with decreased attack, AoE attack with decreased speed and leech. Leech is very helpful to get your team to heal if you don't have any other healers in there. Increased speed. You're getting Thermiter. He grants an extra turn. He has a speed aura for all battles, which is very, very nice. And then fills the champion's Thermiter by 5 each time a debuff on an enemy is removed, transferred, or expires. I would build him either on a curse set. Preferably curse set would be the #1 build for him in my opinion. You can build him on a provoke set if you're really struggling to bring in a provoker and pray that he will hit the head of Decay and provoke that head as often as possible. It really depends. Now, I haven't really built mine just yet. I will do some different teams in the near future where I'm using Nekmotar, and I'm gonna show you exactly what sort of plans I have for the champion. But definitely a very solid champion that deserves to be in top 20. Then another champion that we have on the list. I know you guys freaking hate her, but you know what? She deserves to be here. And it's not like you guys hate her for a specific reason. I feel like maybe you hate the way Plarium handled the whole situation with the Nargigante Archer. Amazing, amazing champion. She was limited edition, exclusive champion to the Monster and Hunter collaboration event. And they haven't done a guaranteed on her. They haven't really done anything to allow people to get her with 100% successful chance. Now, I'm not saying to just throw her away for free to everybody, but I feel like a guaranteed event would have been nice on her since she was the best champion out of all of them. Basically, with the A1, places an increased accuracy on this champion. The A2, AoE attack. Not only that she's good for Hydra, but she's good in many different areas. But for Hydra, she will put decreased speed on all of the team. Also, fills the Thermiter of all allies by 10% if a speed debuff is placed by this skill instead. So you're gonna rotate your skill quite a bit. And while she does kind of like end up in the damage dealer sort of group, I feel like she just brings a lot of support that it makes sense to put her on here. Her damage is not something that will blow your mind. With a very strong build, I'm pretty convinced that she can easily drop over 500 million with the hacks and everything else that she brings. But overall, definitely a very solid support champion next to the damage, you know. Then you have a provoke on a boss for 2 turns, and you have hacks for 3 turns. So one of the best Hydra provokers in the game, guys. The passive is nice as well because you're getting healing on all of your allies, which again is very, very nice. You have the defense aura, but it's only for dungeons, so not very helpful for Hydra. Awesome champion for Hydra. I don't really tend to use her because every time I'm using her, you guys are flaming me in the comments, you know. Then we have a past fusion, which again is a very nice champion. A lot of you guys flamed me in the comments for calling that champion awesome. True, I haven't really ended up in using her much in arena because I got better champions since. But she is a solid champion, and that is Eos Street Dreamsong. What I like, and what I saw after a while was a lot of people coming out and just posting videos. My god, Eos Street double my damage, double my damage, double my damage. Well, hell yeah, because she's an amazing champion, and a lot of people call her trash. If you have Nekmotar, you don't need this trash champion. And let me tell you what, she is better than Nekmotar in my opinion on pretty much every single day. Speed aura for arena, which is a bit unfortunate. The A1 attacks an enemy, puts sleep. If the target is under decreased speed or weaken, she has a higher chance to put the sleep, but it's not going to help us in the Hydra. What I really like about her, guys, she brings decreased speed, she brings weaken, AoE attack, and she can actually deal damage. I've done a video where I used her recently, and I was like super impressed at the end when I saw how much damage she actually dealt. I was like, wow, I was not expecting that, you know. Then, increase speed, increase attack, fills the Thermiter, extra turn. So basically, you open with this skill, you move into the A2, job done. And you can do it over and over again. Again, 9-piece protection set, works amazing. You can even run her on a curse set if you want for that A2. You can run her on a Relentless, you can run her on Reflex with Merciless. Merciless 4-piece, guys. That will decrease the cooldown of the skill. It might not be the best thing because you're only basically dealing damage with A1 and the A2. But it's still not a bad option at all. The passive will basically give you a bit of healing. I'll be honest, I'm not very impressed with the healing that she provides. But other than that, she brings a lot of awesome things to the table. And what I do like about her is basically making your team so flexible. Because she brings so many things to the table. increase attack, increase speed, decrease speed, weaken. So then you can bring in an Ugo for defense down and block buffs. And then you can just bring in damage dealers. You can bring in whatever you want. You have so many different things covered with just these two champions, you know? So I feel like is definitely a solid one. Then moving over to the next one, guys. She is very, very nice as well. I do think that she lost quite a bit of value since the addition of other strong champions for the Hydra, but she's still definitely a top 20 champion for the Hydra, and that is Duels Litu. What I do like about her is basically allowing you to run your team on full auto, go have a beer, go have a coffee, go out for a run, go sort out your chores in the house or whatever you're doing, and come back to your team, and job done, because she brings you the speed aura, she brings you the perfect veil with increased attack, she brings you block debuffs, which is, again, very, very helpful, and the revive with the veil and continuous heal. So Duels Litu, yeah, 9-piece protection, that's how I have mine built for the Hydra clan boss. I am using her in my Trandai, Yumeko, and double Nia team. And I gotta say it, she is definitely very, very awesome for that team too, but she's very awesome for teams where you're just running different damage dealers, where you're just basically putting in whatever you have, Acrisia, Husk, Royal Guards, and you just let them go and bang, job done. That's why I like using revivers in some of the teams, because it basically takes away that pressure of having to manual the key to get good results. The next one is Siphi. Yes, Siphi, 9-piece protection as well, the best build for Hydra, because she gives you directly 3 buffs similar with Duchess. Now on top of it, she revives, and she has a chance to remove the fear from your champions basically when they get feared by the Head of Torment. So that's very, very helpful. She gives you a bit of healing too. I do like that she provides all of the buffs that you need, basically increase speed, increase defense, block debuffs. The revive makes your team, again, much better because you can run it on full auto. I am using Siphi in my Nightmare team, actually. So, yeah, I think I dropped either an ally attack, either I dropped another important champion to make room for him, just to make that team auto. And absolutely no regrets, because that team does in between 1 to 1.5 billion damage on auto. But I do have her on 9-piece protection set for that. Then we have Molly Tankard. Yes, this was one of the very first few fusions we've ever had in the game, guys. Amazing provoker, but not just that. Again, it brings me back to the whole situation of I can run my team on auto, and that's it. With the A2, AoE provoke, reflect damage, so this makes her one of the best provokers in the game because it can go for 2 turns. On top of that, she will put reflect damage on herself, which will make her the mischief target, and she doesn't attack the target when she does it, which makes it super auto-friendly because she's always gonna provoke everybody that can be provoked. So that makes her very, very good for auto teams. She has a revive with block damage. It's not the craziest revive or anything like that, but when you need to use it, in case if something goes bad and one of the heads is able to put a reflect damage or a champion dies, she will be able to revive that champion. Now, what makes her even crazier is this passive. Fills the thermometer of all allies by 15% when this champion is hit. Fills the thermometer of all allies by 25% when this champion is hit by a boss. So you're constantly going to rotate your team, but this is on a 1-turn cooldown. And overall, is definitely going to boost your damage a little bit too, and provide you with a good provoker, a reviver, and a mischief target. So overall, Molly Tankard definitely deserves top 20. The next one, some of you guys might be debating a little bit in here, like Skratch. Isn't she like a damage dealer? I'll be honest, Venus doesn't really do a lot of damage. She puts poisons with the A1, which is nice on decapitated heads or heads that basically receive the debuff. A bit of extra damage. Defense down and weaken, AoE attack, void affinity, which is amazing. HP burn, which again is very, very nice. And if by any chance you are running her with Cupidus, guys, removes all buffs from all enemies and has a chance to grant an extra turn. So this right here is very nice if you run her with Cupidus. I do think that she belongs in top 20 as part of the non-damage dealers. You can bring, of course, champions like Cisia and say, well, she's not a damage dealer. Or you can bring in other champions that do defense down and weaken and deal damage. But I feel like Venus definitely belongs in here. a curse set works amazing on her. That's what I have on mine. You have 2 AoE attacks, bang, hacks, 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 gets the job done basically. Then let's bring in an epic champion as well, guys, because there are not many that will make it on our list, but Ugo is honestly one of the best epic champions for Hydra clan boss in the entire game. Amazing support, block buffs, defense down. Now the best build for Ugo is going to be an affinity breaker set. Yes, you don't want to get weak hits. You want to put the block buffs on everybody. You want to put the defense down on everybody as often as possible. So having an affinity breaker build on Ugo, top notch. You're getting a bit of a cleanse. You're getting a bit of a healing as well. Leech with A1. Overall, Ugo, super solid character. And I find myself using her pretty damn often. And maybe I haven't used her in the last couple of months since I got Lazarius and I got more strong mythical legendary champions. But before, she used to be part of 2 of my teams because I used to have 2 different copies of Ugo at level 60. Then we have Tohaj. Amazing champion as well. She's dumb on auto. You want a manual with her. If not, your team will completely suck, okay? So let me just be honest. That's why I'm not using her anymore in any of my teams. She's just such a pain with this freaking skill, always attacking whatever she attacks, and that head might have like 5-6 different debuffs, and it's just gonna be random what she spreads to the other ones. And this is a nice skill though. Block debuffs, decrease attack, and spread the debuffs to the rest of the enemies. Very nice because she's void as well. Increase defense, increase speed. She really helps you deal with a head of torment. She gives you continuous heals. She gives you an accuracy aura for all battles. Best build for Tohaj, 9-piece protection set, reflex, relentless. Basically, that's kind of like how you want to go on the builds with Tohaj. She can deal damage too. If you give her full crit rate, a bit of crit damage, high defense, next to whatever else you're planning to give her, she will get the job done. But I hate her on auto. I'll be very honest with you guys. Moving over to the next one, we have Gayat. You see how many champions we have from the Sylvan Watchers that are great in the Hydra, which we did not have 1 year ago. It's just as I mentioned, Hydra becomes more and more like the clan boss, and that is a very good thing. People might say, well, it's unbalanced, okay? This is never gonna create balance in the Hydra. It actually is creating balance. The only thing that is unbalanced in Hydra clan boss is Stranda. Once that gets sorted, all of these teams that you are seeing, and now we have more and more teams, more and more champions dealing good damage, being very good at supporting the team, that will be balanced once that is done, you know? So Gayat, another Veil champion. You have a speed aura in all battles by 19%. The A1, not very helpful because you don't really need freeze in the Hydra, not for the moment anyway. Then increase attack on all allies and a perfect veil on all allies, and fills the thermometer by 15% on a 4-turn cooldown. That will help you basically to boost the damage. It will allow you to rotate your team more often, and on top of it, it will help you with a head of torment. 9-piece protection is gonna give this champion a lot of value. Reflex, a lot of value. Relentless, a lot of value. So it's up to you what you have. Usually there are only a few sets that really provide you with great utility on the support champions. If you have none of these, of course you can go with speed, perception, accuracy, whatever you guys have that will allow you to get some decent stats on them. Then revives all dead allies with 40% HP and thermometer, places an increased accuracy and an increased defense on all allies for 3 turns. These buffs will be placed even if no allies were revived. If no allies were revived by this skill, grants this champion an extra turn. So that will allow you to basically move into the other skill. You get increased defense, increased accuracy, a perfect veil, and increased attack. 4 buffs. From protection set, bang, 20% extra damage to start with. The passive, allies under a perfect veil placed by this champion deal 10% more damage, and allies under a perfect veil buff placed by this champion deal an additional 10% damage to enemies under veil or perfect veil buffs, which is not really going to be the case for the Hydra. But Gayat, another awesome support champion, and this was more of a newish addition to the game. Then, of course, we need to put in the champion that you are getting from the Hydra clan boss in top 20, because she is actually good, a good champion. She deserves top 20, and I am talking about Mitala Lifebane. With A1, attacks 2 times at random, has a chance to put poisons. What I do like about her is this: hacks, increase defense, and increase attack on your team. Then you have, of course, removes all debuffs from your team, strengthen, and shield. I wish this would have a block debuffs in there as well. That would make it perfect. Now again, 9-piece protection set is the GOAT for this champion. Relentless, reflex, something in this area. If not, you can just go with your regular arena build, regardless if you have her on immunity, on stone skin. She will get the job done, but the other sets will enhance the damage a bit more. Accuracy for all battles. But this is my top 20 champions for Hydra clan boss, excluding damage dealers. I will make an updated video probably next month on that, guys, because quite a few things changed in the last few weeks, in the last 1 month with all that. So I do think that these are the champions. If you guys think that I missed anyone that's really, really powerful, let me know in the comments down below. Yes, you can bring in Lanakis for the Tranda team, but that's it. You can bring in V6, but she's not top 20 in my opinion. She's definitely top 30. She's a very solid provoker if you don't have better options. You can bring in Yumeko. Yeah, great. If you have the Tranda team after, those teams are now really, really powerful. Gerbtuk, Battle Khazar, etc. These are all champions that really, really work well with the Tranda team, but once you drop that, it's not as impressive. And I do have Amic Drunkheart, we have Wixwell, we have Bambus, we have Shayak, we have Lady Kimi, we have High Mother Mod, we have Sulfurian, but this will take me to top 30. I don't think that any of these champions that I named after are good enough to be in top 20, but they are top 30, okay? So this video is top 20. I do want to give them a bit of a shout out because I know they are still very, very effective champions, but they're not making my top 20. Let me just quickly walk you through some of the teams before we are ending this video. So as you may notice, yes, Lanakis, Yumeko, Gerbtuk, awesome stuff in that team. Then you have, of course, Shuzan, which is amazing in this team too. But once you drop them out of that team, it's not that great. So the Greer, look at this team. Very, very nice. You have mythical champions. You have some other champions in here. But Lady Kimi, Androck, Vincenza, Garel, Krisk, Toshiro. 5 billion damage. 5 billion on Nightmare. So this is a very strong team. That's what I kind of like wanted to show you what some of my clanmates are doing with Androck, with Vincenza. You know, you are gaining tons and tons of value. And as you may notice, she is on a curse set, right? Because somebody needs to put the hacks. Krisk is on a hack set as well. The more hacks, the better for your damage. Lady Mikage, Androck, both of them on 9-piece protection sets. And then, of course, Merciless and a couple of Slayer pieces for whoever is able to get them on, or Slayer and a couple of Merciless pieces next to that. Then, if we are looking at this one, Feral, very, very solid with Sifi. This is actually my team for Nightmare. There we go. So this is my team for Nightmare. Mishinaki, Krisk, Feral, Sifi, Turvol, Taras, full oro. Bang, almost 1.4 billion damage. We do have Feral only on 8-piece protections at the moment. I am missing the banner. That will definitely enhance the damage quite a bit on the team. Sifi, she is on a 9-piece protection. Savage and Stone Skin for Taras, plus a couple of refresh accessories. Then if we are having a look at a team with Padre right here, very, very nice as well. It does provide you with a lot of utility and damage next to it. You see, people still running Ugo, as mentioned. She's just too good not to use her, basically. And she is built on Relentless with Immortal. Not bad. I would definitely build her on a Affinity Breaker, though. To Hanorak right here, guys. Another Androck. Another to Hanorak. But these teams, you see, they're not performing well. And they are going on full auto. So a team like this should get close to 1 billion damage. Or 700-800 million because they have Duchess instead of an ally attack. But with to Hanorak, it's just not performing as well on auto, you know. Nargigante Archer again. You have some Lazarius in here. You have, of course, some more Androcks, Krisks. If we're gonna have a look at one of the other clans, let's see what they are running in here. So, this is a team with Toshiro, Vincenza, Feral. A lot of Gerbtuks, a lot of Lanakisses left and right. Feral, Toshiro, Krisk, Mikage, Androck. This is the meta, basically, you know, like Nargigante Archer. You have a Bugs Bunny in here who deals a lot of good damage too. Like, look at that, 3.5 billion damage. Lazarius in here. Androck again. These are most of the teams. Sulfurian too. But as mentioned, Sulfurian is top 30. Nekmotar too. Pretty good in there as well. Krisk. Feral. Curious to see what damage he got with that team. 2 billion damage on Heart. I guess it's decent. Calamitous is a damage dealer though. I'm not expecting too much from him. White Dryania is amazing as well. Top 30 in my opinion. But again, it's very limited to what sort of team you're running. I actually run a very similar team for my Hydra team on Hard, but that is full manual, you know. White Dryania very effective too, you know. And yeah, pretty much that's it, guys. You are seeing most of the champions that we named being used in all of these comps. Shamael is more of a damage dealer / support, so I would put him more at the in the damage dealers group rather than support. But that was all for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you found it helpful, and if you guys think that I missed anyone, let me know in the comments down below, and let me know which one is your most favorite Hydra champion. As usual, appreciate all of you guys watching. Much love. Till next one, stay safe. Peace.